What's good, YouTube? It's your boy KB with JusDueBoxing, back with another video, and we're gonna get right into it, man. So as we all know, the WBC has ordered several fights, and one of those fights was Shakur Stevenson versus Pitbull Cruz to become the eliminator to face the winner out of Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. And we all know, it wasn't said directly from Pitbull Cruz, but it was said from Team Cruz and his father, who represents him. And, he made a bunch of excuses about, Shakur being a boring fighter. It's going to be like a dog chasing a cat. He can make more money fighting other guys. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was ducking. It was an excuse straight up and down. You making excuses saying it'd be a dog chasing a cat, that just lets me know that you're not comfortable and completely confident that your son could beat Shakur Stevenson with the skill set and the style that he possessed. So it seemed like y'all were willing to go in another direction. And, now, Shakur Stevenson, when he heard that Pitbull and his team seemed like they wasn't interested in the fight, he said, he ready to smoke anybody. And a couple of the names he mentioned was William Zepeda and George Kambosos. And, William Zepeda responded. You know what I'm saying? He said to Shakur Stevenson, don't mention my name. He said, send me a contract and we'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So he's not impressed that the young superstar has called his name. And I, for one, think this fight would be a hell of a fight. If Pitbull Cruz don't want to get in there with Shakur Stevenson, if him and his team are not confident that they can, beat a fighter with the style and the skill set that Shakur Stevenson possessed, then so be it. Next man up, and that's Shakur Stevenson's mentality, is the next man up. So, he called out William Zepeda. William Zepeda responded. So it been a little back and forth on social media. Shakur also, said to Pitbull Cruz, if the little puppy doesn't want to fight, and let's get who's next in line. Like I said earlier, he stated a couple of names on social media, and William Zepeda and George Kambosos Jr. He said it doesn't really matter. He ready to smoke somebody regardless. So again, Shakur has always been willing and ready for the smoke since he been in boxing. I don't expect to see anything different. I mean, this whole notion that him and William Zepeda could be fighting, it is a great fight. We seen Zepeda the last time in the ring. It was October 29th. Where he dominated Jojo Diaz over 12 rounds. I mean, I don't think Jojo won more than 2 rounds, if that. He completely got dominated by William Zepeda, and on to the next one. Now you fast forward. Now you got Shakur Stevenson on his heels, ready to fight him, and a lot of people feel like this is going to be a dangerous fight for Shakur because you got somebody in William Zepeda that throws a lot of punches. He set the copy box lightweight record in the Jojo Diaz fight with 1,536 punches. You get what I'm saying? So this dude, and he's coming off some of the biggest wins of his career against, the 130-pound titleist Rene Alvarado, and he gave Hector Tanajara his first blemish on his record as well. So he felt like he's earned the right to fight amongst the best, and I agree with him. I mean, I think fighting Shakur Stevenson would be exactly that, fighting the best. And it's refreshing to see that he's willing to step up to the challenge. Whereas, like I said, it's not Pitbull coming out of his mouth directly, but, it's coming from his father's mouth. And it sounds like he's more interested in money than legacy. And I ain't knocking him. I mean, that's just what it seemed like to me. And, Pitbull, he tagged Shakur Stevenson also on social media, on Instagram. And he said, don't be so impatient to fight me, because when we are in the ring, it's one-on-one. It's not. It's like a line. It's going to be like a line coming at you. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds good. It sounds good. But at the end of the day, Shakur called you a poodle. He said you ready to go for a walk. He called William Zepeda out. Zepeda responded. You responded after Zepeda responded. So I'm with seeing any of these fights. I want to see Shakur Stevenson against Pitbull Cruz or William Zepeda. They both present different set of challenges for the young king, and I think it would be very exciting to see the styles clash. Pitbull is a come forward fighter, the bob and weaving style. He's very wild, very aggressive. I think Shakur pick him apart and box circles around him. In all honesty, I think he's just too skilled of a fighter for Pitbull Cruz. And when it comes to William Zepeda, I know he throws over 1,000 punches and he can throw upwards to 100 punches around. But again, Shakur is a master at controlling you know, controlling the distance and range, and you got to be within range for William Zepeda to not only be able to throw that amount of punches, but to actually be able to be in a position where he could land those punches. And I just don't think Shakur Stevenson will be in range, whereas William Zepeda would just be able to, you know, have his way with him and you know, throw a bunch of punches and overwhelm him. I just don't see that happening. And I'm a firm believer is levels when it comes to the sport of boxing, and skills pay the bills. And make no mistake about it, Shakur Stevenson is just one of the most highly talented and skilled and gifted fighters that we have today in the sport. And I would like nothing more than to see him challenge himself against a fighter that's willing and ready and able to fight him. And, you know, William Zepeda, he has a name. He's undefeated. You know, he's very tough. He's coming off some of the biggest wins of his career. If Pitbull Cruz ain't going to get in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, then let William Zepeda get in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. And like I said, for one, I want to see it. It's a lot of back and forth via social media. And I for one, I want to see this back and forth turn into an actual fight. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to see these guys go back and forth on social media and then the fight not happen. So I honestly I favor Shakur over both of these guys because I'm a firm believer in skills pay the bills. I believe he's more versatile than these guys. He shows more wrinkles to his game. He has that Olympic pedigree. He's a silver medalist. He's a gym rat, and he's getting better each and every time he steps in the ring. I was at his fight at the Prudential Center against Robson Conceição, where he dominated him. And let me tell you, this kid is just getting better and better. He continues to improve. You know, he continues to add things to his game. In that fight, he wanted to be more exciting, so he stepped on the front foot, and he was hurting Conceição, and he wasn't able to get the stoppage, but he definitely beat Conceição up handily, and he dominated him over 12 rounds. So that's my thoughts, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Get in that comment section, as I do respond to all comments. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know who y'all got winning a round robin if possible, or who y'all got winning. William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Which one of those fights do y'all want to see more, and who do y'all got winning? And as always, get in that comment section and let me know if I gave these young kings their just due, because that's what I do over here at JusDueBoxing. Till the next one, I'm out.